Where do you lose off?
Yes.
No, that's the whole point.
But it should be. Good thing we're recording.
It is Saturday.
You like my shoes, Greg?
I do. They're awesome.
Yeah.
According
Yes,
to the
I see
flag.
that.
She's got a cute outfit on.
Yes. All right, Lindsay, let me know when you're ready to go. There we go. All right, we will call to order City Council special business meeting this Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. It is 5:30 p.m. Lindsay, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Baker,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Cool,
Here.
Livingston, Meineke, Mayor Phillips.
I'm here. We have a quorum, so we'll move on. Item number 2 is approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Motion by Brown, seconded by Livingston. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion carries. Item 3 is old and new business for consideration, discussion, and possible action. Item A is a public hearing regarding the proposed property tax levy for general fund liability, property and self-insurance costs, and special revenue levies for employee benefits. So we'll open up the public hearing at 5:30 p.m. Gene, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. This public hearing is a requirement under House File 718. Heard me say this probably a million times. This was passed in 2023. It became effective in 24 and will be effective for the next 3 years unless other changes are made. The requirement is this public hearing be standalone outside of a regular meeting. That's why we're doing this at 5:30. It also required that the county mail out letters by March 20th. I'm sure you all received your letters. And then also the discussion has to center on tax levies only. So we can talk about no other business, but the tax levies for the general fund, the insurance levy, special revenues levy, and the debt service levy. So I put just a little presentation together. It shouldn't take too long. If you could go to the next slide. Thank you. This is the public notice that is required to be put in the paper, and I thought I would just talk about it a little bit because there's 3 columns and then it talks about a specific scenario down below. So if you look at the first column, it shows our current year numbers, the budget year we are currently in. The second column is what they put as budget year effective. These are state generated notices, so not city generated specifically. So we use these state forms. The second form is if we had not increased our funds, our expenses, I should say. So this second column would be if we did not ask or request for any additional dollars over this year. So if you look at the first column in the green, it has our regular tax rate. So that green arrow, and our regular tax rate is 1488. If you look at the second column, if we ask for no new dollars, it would go to 1392. Obviously,
I'm sorry, when you say ask for no new dollars,
request, I should say,
okay, but
increase our tax rate, our tax dollars.
Okay.
So increase our tax rate and increase our tax ask.
Okay.
It's clarification. So obviously we know that that's not really realistic with inflation. We have wages that are affected, benefits, costs, insurance goes up every year, cost of goods, services, fuel, things of that nature. So we have, in this new budget, have requested new money. If you look at that top line, our growth in value went from 781 million, this is our taxable value, to 831 million in that third column, second and third. The third column is actually what we are proposing. We grew 6.33% taxable value. The revenue we could realize with this new formula, House File 718, we grew by 6%, which means we can ask for 3%. So we got they call it ratcheting formula, ratchet down. So we asked for 3.23% in new funds. So our revenue for the general fund will go to 6.3 million. If you go down a couple rows to the liability, property and self-insurance fund, That will go from 257 to 345. A lot of this is the field house property insurance. Keep going down, 3 or 4 more columns. It shows our FICA and IBRs, this is Social Security, Medicare, and our IBRs retirement funds. That will go from 1,011,000 to 1.142 million. Health insurance, workers' comp, unemployment insurance is in the next line. That is also going up about 200,000. Debt service taxes is our final levy. This pays for our infrastructure type projects, sewer, water, some equipment. We're buying some snow plow equipment, or plow trucks, I should say. So that is going up from 2.8 to 3.1 million. So basically overall, we are looking at 6% in new money across all levies. So we are going from the total of 11.8 million to 12.6 million. Again, this is just tax money. That's not our total budget. If you look at that green line again, where it says our tax rate currently is 1488, our proposed tax rate is to basically maintain the same, not increase the levy. You look down below in that box that is circled in the blue. This is a specific scenario, again, that the state has required us to put this out. This scenario is if $100,000 in property was increased by 10%. Now, the issue with this is fiscal 26 is not a revaluation year. The only way your assessment would go up is if you did an improvement to your home, you added to your home, you added a garage, or maybe you had abatement that's dropping off. Otherwise, the average property owner will see a 0 increase in their value. And I'm going to show you that in a minute, what that means.
So that blue box is hypothetical.
It is hypothetical. Yes. If it went up 10, if your property value went up 10%, then your tax increase would be 12.6%. That is not typical, especially for this year. They do revalue on the odd years, so 26 is not. If you go to the next slide. I just want to address these. This is what the public hearing is about. If you look at the first column is our fiscal 25, which is the current year we're in. Those are the respective levies. The general fund levy, 786, proposed to go to 763. That is basically as a result of House File 718. So it's about a 23-cent reduction. The insurance levy is going to go from 32 cents to 41 cents, which is about an 8-cent increase. Again, a lot of this is the field house. Special revenue levy is going up 12 cents from 330 to 343. That's for our insurance and benefit, health insurance, I should say. So our benefits and retirement. And then the debt service levy, 338 to 340. So about a 2% or 2 cent, sorry, increase. So basically overall maintaining the levy. If you could show the next slide, please. This slide shows the calculation for an average house of 375,000, what they would pay from this year to next year. I want to address the assessment date because this can get confusing for people. January 1, 2023 in that first column is actually for this fiscal year. People pay their taxes. It's a January 1, 2023 is your assessment date. So that's quite a while ago, right? Actually paying taxes September 2024 and March 2025. So you just paid your March 2025 taxes for January 1, 2023 assessment. In 2024, which is our proposed budget, which is 25-26, you will pay taxes on those, on this September of 25 and March of 26. So stay with me. So the letters you got just recently are for September 26 and March of 2027. That's your valuation for January 1, 2025. So I know it gets confusing. Going back to the formula here, the rollback this year is 46.3%. It's going to 47.3%. That is a state formula. The cities do not have control over. The state sets that level. So that rollback is going up a little over 1%. You take a look, we use 375,000 as an average home value. You look at the taxable value, it goes from 173 to 177, and again, that's the rollback difference. Tax rate stays basically the same. Your annual amount would go from 2586 to 2647, which is about a $61.70 difference.
And
Or
that's
about-
the city portion only.
Correct. Does not include schools or county. We don't know what their budgets are quite yet. So about a $5.14 per month increase. Percentage 2.39%. So think about that on that slide before with that circled box, it said 12.61% on the public notice. If people read that, they think, wow, my taxes are gonna go up 12.6%. That is not the case. They're gonna go up 2.39% city taxes. So I think it's really important to point that out at this meeting.
So the assessments that came out, sorry, the assessments that just came out, everyone got. My house went up $100,000, whatever. Those are actually gonna be paid in September of 25,
26
26.
and March
Okay,
of
a year and a half.
27.
Year and a half.
Yeah, there's an 18-month lag, so.
For fiscal year 27, the budget that we will work on next winter.
I know.
Clear, very clear.
it's- That's why I really want to point that out.
And you get the numbers. Gabe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said, and you get the numbers. Gabe.
most of the time I do, yeah.
Go to the next slide, please. This just is our new dollars from each of those levies that I had pointed out earlier. That's a total of 824,000. Again, these are tax supported budgets. So our tax supported budgets are about 41.3 million. So, we have charges for services, money that comes in. It's not just taxes. $824,000 increase in these is about a 2% increase. So pretty reasonable. Especially if you keep in mind that general fund, we're only getting 208,000 new dollars. That supports police, fire, library, parks and rec, administration, which includes legal and IT. So, I'd say we're pretty efficient if we can make it on that kind of money. Next
And Gene,
slide.
that's a 2% increase in a year where we just added one of the largest new facilities. The
Right.
field house opened, and this is the first time we're seeing in our budget now covering the cost of that new facility.
Which requires new staff and insurance and all the things that go with it, so. Final slide. I just want to show you our 10-year tax history. In fiscal year 17, our tax rate was 1569. In 18, we were able to lower that 27 cents. We got rid of the insurance or the emergency levy, excuse me. We did that because we were growing, we were getting additional value, and we were able to leverage that and say, we don't need that emergency levy anymore. So we got rid of that. The next year we went down a couple pennies. The year after that, we maintained, slightly went under. 21, we went down another 20 cents. 22, we went down another 6 cents. 23, we were down 3 cents. In 24, we went down almost 23 cents. So we have been decreasing the levy. You'll notice in 25 and 26, those are the years we have not. This is a direct result of House File 718. I can't stress more than ever that an increase in value and development means that we are able to leverage our growth and decrease our tax rate. With House File 718, if we're not able to capture all that growth, we just can't do that. So I just thought it was important to show that. Now, new legislation is out there potentially that they might exclude new growth. That'd be awesome for us because we are a growing community. But anyway, I want to end on a positive note. We're still thriving, we're developing. We have an awesome elected group, we have a great staff, we're professional. We work well together. People understand that if we're asked to do more with less, we're just gonna do it. So I think we can handle anything they throw at us and we'll be fine.
Thank you,
Do
Jean.
you have any questions?
Questions for Jean?
No.
Okay. Lindsay, have we received any oral or written comments on this?
We have not.
Okay, any public comment? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and close public.
Yeah, I think. he
Yeah,
was
come on
getting
up. Please state your name, address.
Steve Hill, 1831 Ashford Avenue, Norwalk. I don't, I've never been on a city council like this, but I was on a city council in North Dakota for about 12 years. I was the auditor. I used to make our budget every year I'd have to submit it to the county. And I tried my best to keep the budget flat. Of course, we had nothing, it was nothing like the budget that this city's got. But what I'm wondering, I don't quite understand, is our taxes are gonna go up or not gonna go up? Is that what, they're gonna increase?
Yes.
They are gonna.
They're either not gonna go up or they're gonna go up.
I don't quite understand. I couldn't hear everything the lady was saying. I'm a little hard of hearing. But anyway, it looks like they're saying that the levy, the tax is not going up, but the levy is going, the valuation has gone up. Is that what the deal is?
So the valuation will take effect not this year, but the following year.
Okay, 26, right?
So since our levy is essentially not changing,
Mhm.
the overall levy, and your house valuation is probably not changing either between the 2 years. Your taxes are gonna go up. If you have a $375,000 house, your taxes are gonna go up $60 for the year.
I think it's
that
it's like 200.
That's because of the rollback.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay,
The value on my house has actually gone down according to what I'm seeing on the real estate. It's gone down about $10,000 less than
Okay.
what I paid for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that makes any difference, but
So on average, for a homeowner in Norwalk, your taxes are gonna go up about $60 a year
Well,
on average.
okay.
Some people will go up a little more, some people it'll go up a little less. But on average, yes, it's gonna go up about $60.
Okay, well, I'm just wondering, is there, I have to live within my budget. Is the city has to just keep coming asking for more money? I hate to say it like that, but that's kind of what it seems like.
And I appreciate that question, but I would tell you this, we have budget hearings every year extensively where we pour through our budget and we ask our staff to make cuts and make cuts and make cuts. And what we are dealing with this year is consequences of the state government taking what we had 2 years ago and slashing it drastically. And telling us from 2 years ago, now you have to operate with, less than half of what we were operating with before.
Okay, so.
We continue to grow, but the state is taking more of it. So we have to operate with less. So yes, we are being very fiscally
So
responsible.
the state it paid back money, is that what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
I know I was hearing about this and I didn't quite understand what it was actually all about.
So as Gene said, we grew a little over 6% this year
Mhm.
as far as valuation goes. If we were able to capture all of that growth, we would have been able to reduce the levy and possibly reduce your property taxes,
Which is what we have been doing.
which is what we've been always trying to do. Because we can't take advantage of that growth anymore, we have to slash 3% of that off. So we could only grow about 3% overall. And that means that since inflation is around 2-3%, because we're just covering inflation at this point in time.
Well, the inflation I think it was running a lot more than that. I think it's back down now.
Right.
So it's basically, so it is gonna go up some, but it's part of the problem is the state pulled money back from the city. Is that what the deal is?
Correct.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
So if if that's an issue for you, please contact Samantha Fett, Representative Samantha Fett, or Senator Julian Garrett.
515.
We'd like that.
Mr. Hill, I really appreciate you coming
Yes.
and talking about it here with us. I know a lot of people have a lot of comments on social media and don't bother to ask the question or listen to the answer. So I really appreciate you coming and asking the
Well,
question.
I know I was on, like I said, I was on a city council up in North Dakota, a real small town. And I was the auditor, and I had to, I did all the budgeting for the town. We didn't have anywhere near the line items that Norwalk has. But I know I used to get flack from people, and my taxes had better not go up, or they'd come, my taxes went up, why'd you do it? I said, no, I didn't raise the taxes. The county raised the taxes,
Yeah.
raised the county taxes.
Right.
We didn't raise our taxes. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. And I'll also say, Mr. Hill comes to community chat almost every month as well, so he's
But is
involved.
is that this next Saturday, or did that?
This Saturday is gonna be canceled, so we'll see you in May.
So it's gonna be in May, okay.
Yep.
All righty, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else? Come on up.
Jeff Helpman, 3620 Prairie Sage Drive. I understand taxes go up. I do. Okay. I don't understand why my land value went up about 160 some $1,000.
That's
I was
That's the
confused
county
with that.
assessor, and yeah, we're all confused with some of those.
Isn't that
and
understanding?
That's something you'll have to address with the county assessor, because we have no control over
So
that.
everybody, I
Yeah,
heard somebody say, well, if you did something on your land or did
doubled the
something.
value of my land.
Yeah.
Really?
What was the address
happened.
again?
Well, mine went over. Yeah.
Or what
More than
comparable lots?
What was the address again?
3620 Prairie Sage Drive.
It's,
How much did your overall assessment?
2 doors down.
Actually, it went up 82,000.
That's what
So
mine.
that's my question is, okay, we get a year delay before it all kicks in. But I have had some people come up to me and they've gone up 200,000, 300,000, that type of thing. How do you answer the, I'm asking this of everybody here.
But my
How do you-
dwelling dropped. Well,
How do you alleviate their concerns about you having the same tax rate and year out?
here's one of the,
the large increase in taxes.
here's one of the things that could also have happened. Okay, we have lots of people who have gone in and remodeled their basement. They don't come and get a permit, but they still remodel their basement. The county assessor went through a process. They hired a company that went around and went in. They tried to go into everybody's homes and see what's in there and do a full accounting of their property. And, those people could have had some improvements on their property that all of a sudden get taken account for. Okay, so that could be one of the reasons why it went up. The other thing is that we have to remember is that by state law, your assessed value has to be within 95 to 105% of market value. So as the market has gone up, everybody's assessments are going up as well, based on state law.
okay.
But
Well, I didn't-
typically your land value doesn't change.
I was gonna say,
I don't,
mine went up
tell you,
too.
what I could do is I could reach out to our county assessor. She's very helpful. Janet Bunce has been great to work with. I'm going to assume for a moment, the reason is because blank lot sales, so vacant lot sales or new lots that are created, that those are selling much higher than what the assessor has had those valued at.
Yeah.
And because those sales are so much higher, that might be part of the reason why the land value is changing, but not necessarily the dwelling.
It's all based
Well, the
upon
dwelling is too.
comparable sales and comparable
Just went down.
values. Yeah, that's what they do. They compare to comparable sales and values.
Apparently you need
Yeah.
to do some
And
work.
if the sales come through every other year and the declaration of values that are filed exceed the actual values.
Yeah.
The counties will actually get orders from the state saying, you gotta do an adjustment.
Yes.
And that's when you hear them say, okay, across the board, everybody gets a 15% increase, which is really arbitrary and not fair to people. So then they can try to do individual assessments on that.
Really furthers their goal of reducing property taxes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then,
So it's usually it's comparable values. And one of the big explanations is it's supposed to equal fair market value. So a lot of times people complain about going up 20%, but then you say, okay, would you sell your house for that price? Well, no, I wouldn't sell it for that price. So, because it probably still doesn't equal fair market value.
All right, well,
Yeah.
that
So,
kind of helps out. So,
I'll be able to get a hold of you and let you know
Okay.
what I find out.
perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
I want to know too.
Yeah, I'll report back what we find.
And then I think we also wanted to stress what you were talking about. Well, are my taxes going to go up in the future or down? Because you hear nothing but on the news, property taxes, the big stress right now is to reduce property taxes. But yet what is planned in the Senate right now is laws pertaining to this rollback you saw not taking place. And they are now outwardly discussing, is this a decrease in property taxes or not?
Right.
They are actually wanting to equalize the commercial and the residential.
right.
The only way for that to happen is to shift taxes from commercial to the
residential.
residential.
Right.
So right now, the state is literally putting one foot in front of the other to increase your property taxes. And it has nothing to do with us or the schools or the county.
Right.
So we don't really know what's happening in the future.
We're flexible.
We were at a meeting the other day with Warren County Economic Development Corporation, and we were asked, or a comment was made, can we get a transition plan so that we, as we transition with House File 718, can we get a transition plan so we know what's coming up in the future? And it's like, we don't know what's coming up in
Don't
the
have a
future,
clue.
so it's hard to figure out how to transition. So. Any other public comment? Either in the room or online. Okay. Hearing none, we'll close public hearing at 5:56 PM. Item B is a resolution to approve the proposed property tax levy for fiscal year 26 for general fund liability, property and self-insurance costs, and special revenue levies for employee benefits. We just had a public hearing on this item. Gene, anything else? Any discussion from council?
Second.
Okay, so I got a motion from Livingston, second from Brown. Any further discussion?
I just wanted to comment that I want to thank the staff for working so hard to be able to hold this under the 3%. I really do. And I just want to comment that I want to thank the staff for doing such a good job to hold this increase under 3%.
Yeah.
And having been in that spot and understanding that the cost of everything has gone up, how in the world do you do it? So I'm glad they figured out a way to do it. I don't know how much longer they can keep doing it though.
Right.
And that's kind of a caution. Okay. Anyway, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Lindsay, would you call a roll?
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Minneke,
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 4 is adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to make one comment, something that has not come up yet tonight. Our community grows around 600 to 800 people per year, as well as all the additional businesses. Now the visitors that we get because of the field house, Fairway Fields, Greg Young Auto Campus. We have significant growth and we're talking about increasing 2%. The amount of dollars that we have to serve a community that is growing rapidly. That hasn't come up. And I know there's concern about our budget go up, but when you consider you have to take care of additional people, additional streets, roads, water, sewer, police enforcement, fire EMS, I'm actually shocked that we can get that done for just 2% additional dollars.
It may or may not be done at the same level we have in the past, but we do have to recognize that.
Thank you for saying that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Oh, I thought we already had. And you're ready for I.
Is that a second, Mr. Baker?
Yeah, he said second.
Oh, I didn't hear him say second. Okay, so motion by Livingston, seconded by Minneke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion carries. We're adjourned for the special meeting.